Good afternoon. My name is Paula Bruno, and I will be talking to you about some of the code of ethics requirements that we go over with our new teachers for our new teacher training, some things that they need to be made aware of when they come to new teacher orientation here in our school system. So the first one we'll start with will be Standard 1, which talks about the professional conduct. And on one side you see some ethical conduct. This is the things that educators should do. And on the other side you'll see unethical conduct. This is the requirements that educators should not do. So but on the ethical side, these are what educators should do. They should encourage and support one another. They should be talking and collaborating with one another. They should also respect one another. And once educators do that, that provides the mutual respect, the collaboration, and things like that, so that educators can make a difference in students' lives. However, for the unethical conduct, educators do not need to harass each other. They do not need to be hot-tempered. And they also do not need to mismanage any type of testing material that is mandated by the state. Doing these things could cost you your certificate and can also present you as being unprofessional. Standard 2 talks about being trustworthy. And so the key word that you hear in trustworthiness is trustworthy or trust. So for the ethical side, teachers need to be fair and equitable. That means that you do the same thing for everyone, regardless of who you know or what they do. You're always fair and equitable, and especially for all students. And this could go for all teachers as well, like people that you work around and the students that you come in contact with. You always need to be fair and equitable with them. The unethical side of the trustworthiness is falsifying information. That means that you tell things that are untruths. And so on the opposite side of trustworthiness is untruthfulness. So you don't want to falsify any type of information. That also could get you some legal action as well. Unlawful acts is plain and simple. As educators, we should be law-abiding citizens. We should do exactly what the law says. We expect for teachers to students to follow the rules and regulations of the school. As is with educators, they are expected to follow the laws of the land. So, ethical side of it, you need to obey the law. And when you don't, and you face charges of different types of things that are considered against the law, that's considered unethical. Next, Standard 4, we're talking about student-teachers relationship. And teachers are looked at as the role models for students. And so when you do that, you think about what should a teacher be. They should be mentors. They should be confidants. They should be nurturing and supporting, because those are the types of things that cause students to want to learn in your classroom. However, on the other side of it, some things that teachers should not do. They should not abuse kids. They should not be cruel. They should not try to solicit them with any type of materials that could cause them to be up under investigation. So when you think about the ethical and unethical sides of teacher-student relationship, you're not here to be their buddy or anything like that. You're here as a role model. You're here as their teacher. You're here as their educator. They look up to you, so you need to make sure that you're exhibiting the correct behavior. Standard 5 is self-explanatory when it talks about the alcohol and drug use for teachers. Ethical. If you're as educators, sometimes you may partake in things that especially alcohol and things like that, but you do it in a respectable manner. However, if you're observed under the influence at any type of school function or things like that, that is unethical. And so those types of things can also cost you your job, or even consider you with some legal action. Public funds and property. This is just the management of funds. You need to make sure the ethical procedure is making sure that you use funds for school. You don't need to commingle any type of school funds with your personal funds. You need to make sure that all of the funds are kept separate, and then make sure that they're used exactly what they're supposed to be used for. remunerative conduct. Alright, so that means that this is a kind of touchy situation, especially, I know this is for like elementary, where, students buy their teachers gifts and things like that. And that's okay for them to do that, but you need to make sure that the gifts and stuff that they purchase, they're not being influenced by the educator. So, teachers don't need to solicit any types of gifts in return for their grades and things like that. You need to make sure that it's strictly fair across the board. And it's okay if students buy you things, but it doesn't need to be a reciprocal effect. If they buy you this, then you have to give them this. So you need to make sure that you keep that in mind as you do the gift giving and things like that. Maintenance of confidentiality. This is the key, especially for educators. You're involved, especially in the public school setting, you're involved with so many different students, so many different backgrounds, so many different situations. And the key to it all is maintaining maintaining their issues, making sure that they're confidential. If you don't maintain that confidentiality, this is one thing that could get new teachers, old teachers, current teachers in a lot of trouble, especially families can sue for breach of confidentiality and things like that. So you need to make sure that whatever dealing with a student, you need to make sure that their confidentiality is kept to the most high esteem. And last but not least, the abandonment of a contract. Most times teachers are yearly or salary employees, or even educators, they have 3 to 5 year contracts or yearly contracts, and so you need to make sure that you live up to those contracts. If for any reason you need to breach those contracts, you need to make sure that you follow the proper procedures by making sure that you give the required amount of time when you're going to be moving from one job to another. What does that mean to abandon a contract? That just means that you just come in the next day and say, I'm not going to show up, I'm leaving. That's not a proper warning to be out. Non-fulfillment of your obligation and just refusal to do the work. That is considered an abandonment of contract, and as professionals, as educators, we need to make sure that this is not the correct work ethic that we want to exhibit. So, to be ethical with this, you need to make sure that you're doing the proper things to make sure that you maintain your job. So these 9 standards are very important as a new professional, as a new educator in the school system, and these are things that we really focus in on with our teachers when they come up, to make sure that they exhibit good work ethics and they maintain professionalism. And all of this information comes from the Alabama Code of Ethics. Thank you for this presentation.